Jourdain trying to stop it. Nolly fading away from the rim and two.
The men drop an overtime heartbreaker against Cincy, now losing 5 of their last 6.
Plus, with the women's season coming to a close, we will discuss all of the scenarios for postseason play.
And I'm Emilie Cochrane, live from the Leocore Center. We'll review the status of Temple's leading scorer as we get closer and closer to the conference championship. Courts in Session is live and it starts right now.
Hello and welcome into our final edition of Courts in Session before spring break. She's Brielle Berry and I'm Luke Meli. With next week off and the conference tournament set to begin, we've got a lot to get to.
The biggest issue surrounding basketball on campus starts and ends with Caleb Battle.
Temple's guard has missed the last 2 games with no word on why. Let's head over to the Leocore Center where our third host, Emilie Cochrane, is standing by with an update.
There being only 2 games left before the conference tournament, Battle is the team's best player. What is the latest on any possible return?
That's exactly right, guys. It's been 12 whole days since Caleb Battle was first benched during a Wichita State game after an argument that he had with head coach Aaron McKee. Now, this situation is being handled internally and, quote, within the family. But the men's team did have media availability just about an hour ago, and McKee and Dunn did speak about where Battle stands on the team and what changes need to be made down to the stretch.
Thanks, Emily. The men missing Battle for the second straight game and a trip to Cincinnati last Wednesday. Temple up 6 in the first half, but Cincy's 50% three-point shooting in the opening 20 minutes puts the Bearcats up 3 at halftime. In the second half now, Cincy up 6. Jamil Reynolds cleans up his miss and throws down 2. He had 11 points, one of 4 Owls in double figures. Later, Dan Skillings, the Roman Catholic grad, pours in 3 of his career-high 15 points. Owls still trailing with 12 minutes on the clock, but it really should say it's Dame time. Dunn knocks down 3 of his 4 three-pointers in the second half, including this transition triple to tie the game up at 65. But the Bearcats respond with 5 minutes left. Cincy goes on a 10-3 run to retake control. Now fast forward to the final 30 seconds of regulation. Temple gets the stop. Hyzier Miller brings it across, surveys the floor, finds Zach Hicks, and Hicks drills the game-tying 3. This broke a stretch of nearly 8 minutes without a field goal for Temple and sent the game to overtime. In OT, Landers Nolly took over for the Bearcats, scoring 9 of his 13 points in the extra session. Temple hanging in. Miller lobs to Reynolds to make it a 2-point game. Now in the final 20 seconds, same situation as regulation. Miller drives, spins, but misses long on the jumper, and that buries the Owls. The Bearcats win it in overtime, 88-83.
Damian Dunn joined the 1,000-point club in the team's game versus Cincy Wednesday night. Dunn became the 55th player in men's program history to eclipse the 1,000-point mark. But despite the team's loss to the Bearcats, Dunn dropped 34 points and has scored 72 points in the Owls' last 3 games.
A lot has changed since the Owls won an OT thriller over the Knights in late January.
Luke, what does Temple have to do in order to win this Thursday night matchup versus UCF?
Well, for Temple, it starts with defense. The Owls are top 5 in points allowed in the AAC, giving up under 70 points per game. In the first matchup between these teams, defense was the difference for the Owls. Temple had 8 steals and 5 blocks in the game. 3 Owls had multiple steals, and another 2 had multiple blocks. Everyone on the team stepped up defensively. Now, let's move over to the offense because the defense is what we know has to step up. For the offense, Caleb Battle's status is still uncertain. The Owls are going to have to look to Damian Dunn to carry them offensively. For all the struggles Temple's had lately, Damian Dunn has been at his best, averaging 24 points over the last few games, including 34 points in the big game against Cincinnati. He only put up 8 points when these teams met in Orlando, but with added responsibility, I bet he's going to up his total back at home.
So 3 players for UCF have my eye, and they are Taylor Hendricks, Ithiel Thornton, and CJ Kelly. Hendricks is putting up about 15 points per game, while Horton and Kelly are each averaging around 12 points per game.